When artist and series producer Susan Byrnes first proposed an exhibition at the Contemporary Dayton, a dance performance was not part of the plan. But after a conversation with her longtime friend, dancer and choreographer Nicola Resto, a new collaboration began to take shape. In today's episode of Studio Visit, Byrnes takes us behind the scenes to explore the process.
When I was installing my recent show at the Contemporary Dayton, I put out an Instagram post. I got a message back right away from Nicola Resto, who's been a friend and collaborator for 25 years. Here's Nicola, or Niki as I call her.
Lightness and Weight, which is the name for the entire exhibition that you created, just seemed like to have such a dance quality to it, because really a great dancer, a great athlete has those two qualities, really perfected, because if you're only light, there's just no depth to anything. And if you're only, weighted, then that kind of doesn't have a lot of nuance. And so I just thought that was a really interesting way to title an exhibit, and I wanted to respond.
Niki enlisted her husband, musician and composer Luis Resto, and dancer Katie Moorhead for the project. Because we all live in different cities, we Zoomed a lot. We chose to use my artwork, 7 Brides for 7 Brothers, a large installation made of dozens of tulle petticoats hung like clouds from the ceiling, with heavy cast iron cow bones lying on the ground like in a pasture. Katie would dance to Luis's composition Menagerie in E minor with the added sound of a cowbell. That was Niki's idea.
I was interested in exploring having this cowbell around Katie's neck first, I thought, and now we ended up putting it on her back. This idea that cows have the bells because you don't want them to wander off too far, and it's sort of resonated with women as well, like you're given these opportunities, but are they really? Because you can't really stray too far from the center. We talked a lot about what's it going to feel like to dance with this bell, and it's got a quite obnoxious sound. But I think that there is this tension of disturbance with this beautiful moving body and this tutu that somehow is very close to what you're creating in the space, with these petticoats on the top and then these bones of a cow, this huge pelvis and iron. And so I just kind of thought that somehow this bell for me is what brought it all together. There, and then up. Yeah, I think that this looks really great with the pelvis.
Katie and Niki rehearse in the gallery for the first time.
And then really kind of going around, go.
It takes a special kind of dancer to wear a cowbell and dance with art, and that's Katie Moorhead.
I think the beautiful thing about dance, and dance in really any particular time of history, was it needed to be wherever it was a possibility. When I perform in a museum, it's 360 degrees because people could be moving around, and I am a live, real piece of sculpture.
In this piece, Katie is the only live being among bones, remains of the dead. So remains is what Niki titled the dance.
The remains part was really fascinating to me, that somehow we live our past experiences in some way, even of generations past, people that we might not know at all, but somehow they kind of transcend through us in some ways. So as we started thinking about how the remains connect to our histories as women, as artists, as dancers, somehow then it started coming full circles, and we had lots of conversations with Katie about how to bring that to life.
Katie runs through it again, this time with music.
Amazing, Katie. The light is amazing. The costume is amazing. It was just like...
This is Susan Byrnes with Studio Visit.
So beautiful. Oh, so...
And you can watch the dance performance on our website, wyso.org. Susan Byrnes' show, Lightness and Weight, is on display at the Contemporary Dayton Gallery. Studio Visit is supported by the Contemporary Dayton Gallery and produced at the Eichelberger Center for Community Voices at WYSO.